Check. K6USY, Delta Mike 06.
Good evening, Aaron. Check. K6USY, KM6SR, receiving your check.
Well, I'm receiving it too.
Yeah, but you're cheating. I'm just strictly over the air like it's meant to be here, over.
Yeah, I always make sure that my audio is getting through to YouTube before we get started.
Roger on that. Very thorough. I'm going to go down and have my dinner. I just got in.
Okay, sounds good. I'll be here. K6USY.
KM6SR, standing by.
WA6AJ.
Good evening, K6USY.
Good evening.
What direction are you pointed?
North.
Okay, that partially explains it.
This any better?
Yes.
Okay. What are you, west of me?
Yeah. I'm 3-4 miles west of 99 out on Clinton.
Okay, yeah, you're pretty much due west, almost like same heading as I would use for John.
Yeah, John's house is only like a mile and a half, 2 miles away.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the city of Fresno, but barely. I'm surrounded by the county on 3 sides.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a Clovis address, but of Fresno County.
Yeah, but that means you can put up a lot more antennas.
Well, yeah. When I did this years ago, it was more. I tried to go through the county and permitting process and everything, and they were real a-holes about it. So and they wanted a lot of money, and I just decided I let it go for about 6 months, and I put them up, and neighbors didn't complain, and for the most part, and that was it.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, I've heard in the city of Fresno it's at least $3,000 to get the process started, and they will mail all of your neighbors so that they have a chance to protest.
Yeah, that's the I forgot the term they use for it. Yeah, it's like within a mile radius or something.
Yeah, I got a letter from the county that somebody like north of here wanted to put a shop or something like that on their property, and I took one look at it and said, I don't care, and I shredded it.
Yeah, I mean, what's the big deal?
Yeah, as long as they're not trying to like set up a disco right on the other side of the fence for my backyard, I don't care. You know, if you want a shop to store your tractor or your cars, or I don't care what you put in there. As long as you're not making noise, I don't care.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, people around here, a lot of them are, I think, renting out their space and have RVs and trailers and pontoon boats parked out in the back. Not necessarily the most pleasant to look at, but my personal view is no worse than my antennas.
Well, at least it gives you something to sling back at them if they complain. But, yeah. I've put up, in the last couple years, I've put up 8 antennas. Everything's mounted up on the roof. And other than I've caught a couple people walking by the house just kind of looking at stuff. And I have a ham neighbor who's on the street behind me and like 6 houses down, and he gets jealous about all the stuff I've put up because he's only got up like 2 antennas. But so far, nobody said anything. It also helps that like all my neighbors across the street are Indian, and most of them don't speak English except for the kids.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yours are not much over your roof line, are they?
Oh, no, they all are. Yeah, everything's mounted up to the eave, up at the apex of the roof, and all my antennas clear the roof.
Okay, but I mean, what's as far as what's the distance up over your peak of your roof?
The highest one's probably only like 6 or 7 feet above the top part of the roof.
Oh, hell, that's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like I put a 150-foot tower in my backyard. But there is 8 antennas up there. It's kind of multiplied. I've run out of room.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I mean, back in the day when everybody was using, TV antennas, everybody had one, right?
Oh, yeah. Less in Fresno, I've noticed. But you go up to, like, Modesto, which is in between, the Sacramento and our TV market. And, of course, they got to point all their antennas up at Sacramento. I think even nowadays, like, probably 20-30% of the houses have these, like, 20-30-foot TV antennas on their roof. There's less of that in Fresno now because, getting TV in Fresno is always pretty easy. But, yeah, a lot of people used to have TV antennas, so it's like... It's the same thing. It's just, I think everyone forgot about TV antennas and they pay for cable, and of course now everyone's streaming TV. That's what we do.
Yeah, I mean, I still got my TV antenna and it's hooked up. I can go to regular TV if I want, but I hardly ever use it. But it's still there and connected. It's fine.
Yep, yeah, I had to put one up, but what I ended up doing, I have a couple of dormers on the front of my house, and I can actually crawl up in there from my attic, and I have a receive loop for my SDR, my TV antenna, and my GPS antenna are all up in that dormer. So the nice thing is my TV antenna is on the roof, but it's not exposed.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. It's good that you did that. Maybe another year or two down the road, you crank them up a little bit higher,
Yeah, well, this antenna that I'm on right now is now up higher because I put 222 up. But yeah, no, at this point I'd have to put some The next thing I would like to put up is one of those like four-sided roof towers. Get it bolted into the rafters and put it up on the roof. I don't think I'd ever do a tower from the ground, but I'd love to put a hex beam up on like a 5 or 6 foot roof tower.
Yeah, they're kind of like a road tower. Is that what you're talking about? About a 10-foot section or something?
No, these are they're angled, so they're wider at the base, and they're four-sided. They're usually 5 or 6 feet tall, and so you anchor it into the roof on 4 different points, and then you can put a little rotor in there. But the nice thing is everything's accessible from the roof, and you don't need a crane. You don't have to climb the tower just to be able to get the stuff. I could just stand on the roof.
Yeah, okay, I gotcha. Yeah, that would work. The thing is, with antennas, once everybody gets used to them, they don't see them anymore.
Oh, yeah. People are blind to infrastructure. My wife hates it because I'll just point stuff out while we're driving down the road, and, she's completely oblivious to it. And I'm, looking at the power poles and looking at the, the TV antennas and the cell sites, and, whatever. We're weird. It's fine. K6USY.
Yeah, roger that. WA6AAJ. Well, this neighborhood has PG&E's Clovis 115 kV line that comes out of Sanger, but goes straight down through the neighborhood and over to the substation now on on Fowler and it's just north of Bullard. So that thing's running right down through the easement between everybody's properties, and you don't see that anymore either. So it's just what you get used to.
Oh, but boy, when they want to put one of those things up, you get all the people going, "Not in my backyard."
No, that's for sure. Well, this thing's been here. This thing was probably here before the neighborhood was built in the late 70s. So that tap's been there a long time.
Oh, yeah. As long as it's there first, then nobody complains about it. It's just, it cracks me up. Yeah, people just completely oblivious to infrastructure. And I think I'm hearing a whistle.
You did.
Fly 1079 and Bozo 1100.
We got you.
Hello, Mike, WA6AJ 727.
I got you. I recognized the voice. Good evening, Mike. Good evening, Aaron. And I thought I heard somebody else in here very fluttery. Who was that?
KC5DTU 712.
Well, it wasn't you, but good evening to you, Kerry. And boy, it's happening.
Kilo 6, Victor Bravo Golf 971. Charlie Echo Fox 982.
And 982 and 971. Good evening, Dave. Good evening, Daryl. Everybody's sounding good up here. Did you catch my comment, Kerry? It's we got them in there today, didn't we? We had them yesterday, I guess. RFK comes in, and he's the head of the most prolific money spending department of all. There's 4 or 5 little groups underneath him. The CDC, the NIH, all those are underneath him. Boy, oh boy, have they got a budget.
Roger that, but wait until the cash man gets there.
Yes, that's for sure. Okay. It's going good. And I guess I can't get over the Democrats. They just can't get off their page and try to help out a little bit here. They might realize that some of this might do them some good. Or at least a few of them, all the ones that are not taking money. Did you ever hear all the list of the top Democrats' net worth? Even McConnell is worth $90 million, and Schumer's a slacker at $70 million. Gee whiz!
That's only the amount that they found.
Yeah, right. Anyway, good evening all, and Dave, how are you doing up there? Are you staying warm? It was sure water in here. We had so much rain it shut the TV off for a while.
Yeah, I'm staying warm right this minute. I spent the whole day, on playing with the California State Fish and Game Commission. That was a lot of fun. We had like a Zoom meeting type deal, and we got to speak for a whole minute. Oh boy.
Yeah. I hear ya. Matt was just coming in describing he's trying to send an invoice to the DOD for something we did for the DOD. You can't use your own invoice. You have to use their invoice. And it costs you $160 to buy the form that they want to use for their invoices so you can bill them over.
Yeah, it's all corruption, Mike. And we caught the president of the Department of Fish and Game Commission in a bald-faced outright lie, saying that she only made $500 a meeting and she was working for basically nothing. And it's public record what her salary is, and she makes $750,000 a year for that job title.
It's pretty normal that she would be paid 3 times what the president and what the senators and the congressmen make. She's worth every bit of that and 3 times, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. It's silly. They just trying to play it off like they don't make anything, and they're just there to help the standard public. And it's like the least paid one out of the 5 of them makes $550,000 a year for that job title. And we looked it up. Their salaries are on the website, and they're public knowledge. And we looked it up and we brought it up to her, and oh boy, she didn't like that.
Well, I guess they don't think you're capable of looking up what their salary is on the website. That's the salary that she admits to, but all the collusion and kickbacks, that you're not seeing any of that.
Oh yeah, we're not seeing any bribery money or anything like that from special interest groups. It's so stupid. To think that we're so stupid that we wouldn't look all that stuff up.
Well, you are. The general public, Mr. General Public, they're talking to me, who's the head of Fish and Game. You're pretty stupid. You wouldn't look that up. You wouldn't be so bold as to look it up and throw it in my face. Oh my God, yeah, it's we're just at the tip of the iceberg here, aren't we?
Yeah, well, she made her mistake because we're a whole bunch of backwards fishermen that'll call out anybody on anything. The whole group that I'm in with, you better watch out because we'll just tell you about it right then and there, and probably get walked out the door by armed security. Yeah, it didn't work for them very well.
Well, they can't do that to you when you have a Zoom meeting. All right, let's see how Daryl's doing up there. Daryl, are you bubbling and choking with water?
KM6SR, gotta go eat. Turn your amp on. Bozo 61.
Hey, there's 61 down there. Good evening. Hang on a second. Rob's got to go eat. Go eat, Rob, and we got you. We'll talk to you in a little bit when you get done. KM6SRR 432 and Bozo 61. And I think I got one other one's in here. Let me get 432 down, 61, and let me shoot it down to you there, Rick, and see how you're doing tonight. Sounding quite good. KB6RQU in Lake Isabella, K6MYC in the Bozo group, over.
Thank you, Daryl. RQU, Bozo 61. I guess we got a little rain finally there. I guess you got some there too, didn't you?
You got to repeat that, Rick. I just was trying to turn my Bluetooth on and it was in the wrong mode. and it took about 10 seconds to come up right here. Try me again, over.
Oh, all right. I was just asking like, if you've gotten a pretty good amount of rain. It's been raining pretty steady since early last night.
Is anybody else copying Rick there? He's got so much flood around him, I can't understand what he said. Mike, did you hear that?
No, I'm not pointed in the right direction.
I heard it, KM6SR.
Oh, go ahead, Rob.
Rick was just asking how much rain you got. He said it's been raining pretty steady all day down there. So, yeah, I'm copying really good. I was starting downstairs when I heard you couldn't hear him. So, yeah, we had 2 inches last night and this morning.
Yeah, we're up in that neighborhood about 2+ inches, Rick. What was the rain gauge when you read it, Judy?
3 1/4.
Oh, well, we got 3 1/4, so we got 3 inches in the last 12 hours or so.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I forgot to put my rain gauge up, so I don't know what I got here, but things are pretty wet.
Yes, that's for sure. Well, this is the best rain that we've had in 8 or 9 months. I don't think I've gotten anywhere close to this much rain all at once since May. So to have 3 inches in the last 3 days is pretty phenomenal. I'll bet you tomorrow, if the rain stops and we drive down and look at our pond, we're going to have water in there. Because it was raining so hard today, it shut the TV off. It actually made there was so much water up in the sky that the signals from the satellite couldn't get down through the water, over.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy. Yeah, usually that happens when it snows, but with rain, that's the first time I've heard that.
Anyway, Mike, did you get turned around yet there?
Yeah, I did. I should be pointed at him. KB6RQU, WA6AAJ. Hello, Rick.
WA6AAJ. Hey, good evening, Mike. Yeah, I hear you a lot better. I heard you when you first came out was really weak, but you had the antenna turned away. Now you're sounding fine, over.
Roger that. Yep, so are you. You're about 5 and 8 on the S meter, so doing good. Good strong signal tonight.
Very good, thank you. I can't give you anything on so stingy radio here. Is weak in the receive. About a 5 on you here.
No problem. You're hearing me, I'm hearing you.
Very good, Mike. 73.
73, Rick.
Okay, very good. And, well, we missed you last night. I guess, are you still having so much interference from down south you aren't checking in on 2 meters anymore? Is that it?
Yeah, I've been missing it on and off. Yeah, I really miss the 2 meter thing because I used to, try to get the weaker signals and stuff and with the other guy in there. It's impossible now, so I don't even use the amplifier here on 2 meters.
Okay. Well, I think if you check in either early or late, we also turn around and they're long gone by the time we get done with our net. And that would be like 8:30 or so. Around 8:30, 8:15, we're done and we're coming around, and always go back down to the Bay Area out of Nevada and look for late checks and missed, and then we turn south, and we have a couple of guys that always check in late from Porterville and from Visalia and so on. So maybe if you want to just check in late, then you wouldn't have any interference, and you wouldn't interfere with them either, over.
Yeah, I can start looking around 8 o'clock, I guess.
Well, it'd be closer to 8:30 when we get turned around down that way. It's usually around 8:30, sometimes even a little bit later than that. You're still up at 8:30, aren't you?
Yeah, most of the time, depending on what's happening.
Yeah, okay. Well, you might try it on Sunday night. Just go out, don't go out into the shack until about 8:30, and you should hear one of us up here. Usually Rob is still here, and a couple of other stronger stations. WA60IB, Ken is usually in here as well. So maybe that's the better time for you. Then we can be turned down that way, and we don't have any interference. from anybody. In fact, the other night we turned down and nobody checked in. One of the guys that checked in earlier and the other one didn't show up. So we turned down that way, and we were looking for you also, as we always do. But we didn't hear you, nor did we hear anybody else. So it was very quiet. Anyway, good to hear you, Rick. Thanks for coming in, and a pretty good signal. It's a little got a funny rapid fade on it tonight for me. It's just the conditions between you and me. You're going up and down every second. So it's like you're talking like this. That's really hard to understand. That's what it sounds like on this end. You're plenty loud, but it's not steady. KB6RQU, Lake Isabella, K6MYC.
Oh, okay, Mike. Yeah, if I don't move the antenna much here, the guys, they really drop out, so it's quite tight little in that direction there. Very good. Okay, we'll try you about 8:30 on Sunday. 73. Stay dry.
Yeah, Roger. Have you fixed the 6-meter antenna yet, or do you have to take it down in order to do that?
It is down. I just can't get it put back up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not in this weather anyway. Okay. Well, let us know when you get ready to go back on 6. Thank you much, Rick. Good evening to you, and we'll say 73s. We'll take another standby for anybody else in the San Joaquin, and then we'll slide over towards Santa Cruz. KDEB6RQU for your final K6MYC.
All right, Kate, very good. I'm going to listen here just for a brief bit and see if I can't hear anybody. But all right, 73.
All right. You're welcome to stick around. We should have the KW6S in Santa Cruz puts a big signal out. You might be able to hear him down there. So yell out if you're hearing him. He's got pretty good ears there, and you got enough power to get back to him. All right, take care. K6MYC. Anybody else in the San Joaquin Valley before I go towards Santa Cruz? Over.
I got a question for you, Mike.
1040.
Okay, two people talking at once. Did I hear 1040?
Hey, firm. KE6VON.
Okay, good evening. Adam, again, good signal here. 1040. Is that your number?
Hey, affirmative.
Okay, good deal. Well, I had a tarp that was attached to the you were up here, so you know what I have there. I had the big wood shed with all the wood in it, and I had a big brand new tarp attached with eye bolts and everything, and the wind blew so hard today it ripped the tarp off. So there was a period of time, and I'm sure it was during a downpour, that the log splitter was uncovered. I recovered it and locked the tarp in place with a couple of wood blocks so it can't come loose, but it's ripped loose completely from the from the shed. We had some nasty wind here. It also was raining hard, so hard that wiped out the TV. We had no satellite signals for about 15 minutes here this afternoon. Around 5 o'clock, I guess, or 4:30, 5 o'clock is when it wiped it out. So quite a downpour for a bit. So I think we got another inch or so in that time, because I looked at it this morning. I had 2 inches, and Judy went out after that big downpour, and she said we have up to 3. So we picked up another inch this afternoon. Amazing. All right. Kerry, you didn't get much of a chance here, but I think we're good, and if we're looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night. I think we're going to ride in with Rob, so hopefully you and Laura are going to be able to make it to the club meeting. KC5DTU, if you're still there, Kerry, K6MYC.
Yeah, real quick there, Mike. I got 1.79 inches today from midnight to now, and I would say probably almost an inch of that was within 20 minutes this afternoon when one of those cells came over. And my patio flooded, came up almost up to the house, and and it got to the point where it wouldn't come into the house, but it definitely came up to that point. And I had a river coming off the side down my driveway. It was just so much water at once. It was pretty crazy. My synthetic lawn was all underwater. I had about 4 inches, 5 inches deep out there, and it's all since drained off. The drains have kept up, but yeah, it was so much at once nothing could keep up with it.
Yeah, I'll be darned. Yeah, we had a pretty good stream, and we have a driveway. You've been here. You went down my driveway, and I've got the way that the driveway is slanted. It comes down the driveway, and then it rounds into a ditch or into a pipe, a culvert that goes underneath the driveway and then down the hillside. And we stepped out on the front porch this afternoon right after that big downpour, and Judy said, yeah, she could see a stream going down through there. We had quite a water flow. It goes down into my burn pile area, which I've been threatening to turn into a pond. All we have to do is put a dirt dam across there, and we could have a 6 or 8 inch, 8 foot deep pond there without too much trouble.
I want a canoe.
She wants a canoe. If we get a pond, Judy's gonna put an order in for a canoe. Good to hear you, but I think you'll probably dry out pretty quick there. You're hilly and rolly, so you're not all flat. Boy, if you were flat, you'd be still underwater. KE6VOM, K6MYC.
Yeah. Well, it's flat land down here, but yeah, I've got a good area it runs off to. So, but yeah, the drains they've all caught up now. Everything's drained off. My lawn is it's muddy. My patio, the concrete's muddy. So, but it's all drained off now. So, but yeah, it was pretty impressive there for a few minutes. Took some pictures, and then me and the oldest went out there and we're checking it out. So, have never seen that much at one time, and I've been at this house now for close to 5 years. So, alrighty, sir. You have a good day or good night, and 73's KE6VON.
Yeah, well, good thing your shed where you do all your chainsaw work is up about 6 feet or 3 to 4 feet higher than that patio area anyway, as I recall. So you probably didn't get any water in the shed floor. That would be cool. Not good. Good enough, Adam. Great to hear from you. And I see you're starting to get back into your normal routine. When do you go back to work?
I'll go back to work next Wednesday. I picked up overtime day on Wednesday, so. But yeah, I'm Thursday, Friday, Saturday right now, and then when I do the rotation, it drops. I'll be doing a Friday, Saturday, and then another pay period, and then I'll rotate to a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday shift for 2 months. So yeah, fortunately the shop stays pretty dry, except for the times when I leave a hose to fill in one of the swamp coolers in the summer, and then I flood the inside of the shop out. I've done that twice now. But yeah, no, was it 3 years ago when we had all the rains? My front yard out there, I had a lake out there where at one point it was probably 3 feet deep in one place, almost up coming over my driveway.
What was that, 3 years ago, you say, before you got the synthetic lawn in?
Well, no, when we had all the rains, 3 years ago, I never had the flooding issues on the patio or the lawn, but where my driveway comes across the field out there, it goes across a stream bed, and it goes into my neighbor's yard where it terminates, and the drains at the street had been blocked off and covered up, so his yard became backed up and everything, to the point that even his well went under, his pumps went underwater. He had to shut everything off. County finally came out and fixed the drainage, but it all backed up into mine, and I had a lake. My driveway was basically going across a lake. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, I can remember that. That was 3 years ago when we had 25 inches of rain here that year. That was phenomenal. We had a pond that was overflowing through a 18-inch diameter culvert. They were shooting out of that culvert. That's how fast it was coming down. The culvert was in the overflow top of the dam, and it was just shooting out. Okay, take care, stay dry, ha-ha, and we'll talk to you Sunday night perhaps. KE6VON, K6MYC. How about Ron? Ron, are you here?
Mike?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question for you. That virus that you said, I think Bob got up in Washington, what was the name of it?
You mean the flu?
Oh, is it just the flu?
Well, it was something. He didn't know. It was a serious virus, but it was not COVID. Over.
Okay. Yeah, Bill got worse. I was talking to his wife earlier today, and he's got aches and coughing and all sorts of crap.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, he's probably got it. It's pretty contagious. It doesn't seem to be that hard to pick it up. And it's not good stuff. It takes a week to 10 days to get through it. So, yeah, I talked to Bob this morning. He's been checking into the net the last 2 days, but 2 days ago he was very nasal sounding and still weak. Yesterday he said he felt better, and today he felt good enough to go out and get back with his therapist. He has a guy that runs him through an exercise program and works him out pretty hard. Yeah, that he does every week or every other week or something. And he was going to go to that today, and he said, "I hope I survive that." So he's about back to normal, but boy, oh boy, he was sick from a week and a half ago down in Puerto Vallarta where he caught it. So yeah, it's a nasty one. Hopefully he can get through it. Bill's pretty tough. He'll figure out a way to get through it, but you just got to put your head down and gut it out. Over.
Okay, very good. I just was curious if they gave him anything.
I don't recall him saying anything. He might have taken something when he got back. He did go to the doctor the day he got back, and they may have given him something, but I think he was pretty much, boy, I just can't recall. He didn't mention it specifically. Over.
Okay, no problem. I just was curious. WA6AJ.
Okay, well, hopefully Bill will get over it. I think he's probably got a doctor down there in Visalia that he's checked in with, and they may. Obviously, if you get too bad, you want to check yourself into the hospital and don't mess around with it. But I don't think it's that bad. It's just it does make you cough a lot, but it's not to the point where it keeps you from breathing like COVID did. It has that characteristic, though, a lot of phlegm, a lot of coughing. It seems to be all over the place. I talked to a friend of mine in Illinois the other day, and he had it. Same thing for about a week and a half. He coughed so hard he burst some blood vessels in his eyes. So it was just nasty.
Wow, that sounds bad.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else before we move up to Santa Cruz? K6MYC Bozo Net.
KJ6TYO1009.
Yeah, that's who I was waiting for. Hi, Ron. Are the chicken wings underwater?
Hey, they look like ducks. They're all floating around, swimming around. So anyway, yeah, rainy day, 6 accidents I've seen, and yeah, a long day, 4 a.m. till 7:30 p.m.
Wow, you just got home. You better go in and take a little wine or a Jack Daniels and sit and relax and give it away for the night, my friend. 6 accidents, yeah. Shows you that people doesn't know that we haven't had rain so long, people forgot how to drive, huh?
Exactly. And I'm going to take your advice, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off. KJ6TYO1009. Good evening.
Okay, you have my permission, and I'm sure the permission of all the other listeners here. I take care, Ron. We'll talk to you Sunday night, probably. KJ6TYO, K6MYC. Anybody else? Okay, somebody in there with some audio problems. Was anybody able to copy any of that?
That was 695 W6, I think it's Larry.
KD6 ZBL. 695. We got that, Larry. Okay, boy, it's a terrible distortion on the audio. It may be RF feedback or something, but just very, very difficult copy. I think it's WA6ZBL. Okay, we got you. But boy, oh boy, rough. Something's wrong there. I wish Ken was here. He could analyze it. Maybe Aaron can tell you what he's hearing. Aaron, are you here? Sounds like Aaron's off taking care of getting the kids down.
There's no A in it, Mike. It's W6.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I guess he said he upgraded W6ZBL. Go ahead. Try another one, Larry, and see if it clears up. Over.
Okay, well, I don't know if it'll clear up or not, but I'm not sure what the problem is. Anyhow, what you guys don't see, you're giving us the W6ZBL.
Yeah, I can't get it. I know you're saying some words. I'm getting an occasional word, but it's very distorted. Maybe something related to the antenna. Maybe the antenna's got a high VSWR and the radio is acting up because of it, or you've got RF feedback or something coming into the shack. Any clue for you, Rob?
Well, I'm not real good at this stuff, but it sounds like he might be too close to the mic, and it sounds like that kind of a popping, but it could be caused by something else here with the storm. Over.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, I was just going to let you know what it looks like on the spectrum scope. It's only getting low frequency response. There's nothing on the upper part of the spectrum. It's only letting through that lower, that low end. So it's something wonky, but with the frequency response is just, it could be a bad microphone, a bad cable connection, or just a bad setting in the radio. K6USY.
Yeah, I don't know what radio you do have there, Larry, but it's like Aaron said, it's all very bassy. And all your audio is on the bass side. You could get through to us nicely if you talked like this. Hi, this is W6ZBL. It might get through that way. Over.
Yeah, okay, well, my voice is pretty hoarse. It's getting old, so my speech is not that good anymore. But anyhow, we'll look into it one of these days. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, it's just pretty unreadable. Did you get any readability out of that, Rob?
Oh, yeah, I understood it completely. He said his voice is getting kind of hoarse, and he'll work on it as time goes on here. KM6SR.
Yeah, probably go away when the rain goes away, Larry. 73s anyway. Sorry to give you the bad news, but maybe it'll be fine when you check it back in next time on Sunday night there. W6ZBL, K6MYC. Thank you, Larry. Okay, anybody else? K6MYC going toward Santa Cruz if we hear nobody. Okay, didn't hear Dane or anybody else in here. Let's go toward Santa Cruz and see what happens. Okay, we're over towards Santa Cruz, more or less. So I can tweak on you, but we're not sure where to point for sure, Tom. KW6S, KW6 Sugar, K6MYC in the group, over.
K6MYC, KW6S, 610. Yeah, you seem to be pretty strong. I think you must be pretty close to being on me. So back to you, K6MYC, KW6S.
Yeah, a little fluttery, but pretty solid, pretty strong signal. Copied your 610. Judy gave you the big thumbs up, so you're in good shape. And thanks much for popping in here. Did we work you last night? Did you get in here last night, or did we miss you?
I missed the net last night. was doing some other stuff that got complicated, and it ran way past net time.
Yeah, well, don't feel bad. I didn't hear Lee either, so Lee wasn't in. We had quite a minimal check-in. I think we were in the 330 something. Did you ever get a count on that last night, Rob?
Yeah, we had 40.
Oh, just 40 even. Okay, but a lot of those came in the last minute, didn't it? I think we had 3 after we got back down here to the Bay Area. We had 2 in. I think we had Eddie checked in early. I don't know what happened there, but I thought we had 2 or 3 that checked in late. Anyway, it was a little bit less than normal. We could have used you, but if we ever get everybody, we'll be well up into the 50-55 bracket. We counted up all the normal people that do check in on a fairly regular basis, and if everybody came in the same night, we'd be in the 50s. Over.
Yeah, you'd be hard-pressed to get to all of them there because it'd be people you hadn't seen in a while.
Well, we see them, but they're not in here every night. Like you're pretty consistent. There's people that are 90%ers at least, and you're one of that bracket. But yeah, it was a funny night. Started off real slow. Anyway, let's see if Lee is in here tonight. Let's see if we can hear his 432 signal. Lee, I wonder if you're copying. AF6 United, K6MYC in the group. No copy on Lee.
Yeah, I don't hear him on there, and I would have thought he had jumped in here. AF6UKW6S.
Okay, well, we'll let you go and have a good weekend. We got 3 inches. 3 inches. I waited all year for this. We haven't had 3 inches in 24-hour period for 3 years, and all of a sudden here it was again. So we might get some water in the pond. If it isn't raining tomorrow, we're going to jump in the side-by-side and go down and look at our pond, and maybe we'll see some water in there. Cover up that dinosaur print that was in the bottom. Over.
Yeah, you're going to have to get some fast-growing fish in there.
Fast-growing and ones that can live in the mud, huh?
Yeah, well, once you get water in it, I don't know how long it gets to keep the water. But yeah, we've had quite a bit of rain here. I don't know how much. For the most part, it's rained pretty steady, but somewhat lightly. And then today, it's been raining really, really hard for maybe 10 minutes or so, and then lets up quite a bit. But we'll have to keep hoping that we get plenty of rain and fill up our reservoirs and our water table here, as does Fresno too. Anyway, catch you Sunday night, K6MYC, KW6S.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we had the same downpour here about 4 o'clock today, somewhere between 4 and 5. It must have lasted at least half an hour, but it gave us another inch. I mean, it came down so hard it knocked out the satellite TV, Tom.
Wow, that's doing pretty well. Are you pointed pretty well at the horizon or pretty up, straight up?
Oh, for the satellite TV, the satellite, of course, the Dish TV network and all those satellites are up at 12 gigahertz. And the water in the sky is a very big attenuator at 12 gigahertz. That's the only downside to doing it at 12 gigs. They got the bandwidth and all the things they wanted to get when they went from 3.5 up to 12, but you do have more water attenuation. It's one of the heavier bands of water attenuation frequency-wise. So I've been knocked out several times, but I haven't been out for 3 years since the last time we had that 25 inches. Has to come down really hard, and it was really coming down to get an inch in less than an hour. Over.
Yeah, I used to do quite a bit of work at 14 and 15 gigs, and I don't remember us ever having anything that we really thought was rain, but then that was through a satellite, and we would usually over the range or higher in altitude, so I guess that's probably why we never really had rain problems at that frequency.
Yeah, if you were up on a hill, you might have been above the real heavy downpours like we get here at times. Anyway, that's what happened. So it was serious rain, and I was happy to see 1 1/4 yesterday morning when I went out, and it was 2 inches later today, and then later on in the day even it was 3 inches. So we've been getting some serious water for a change, and boy, we've been waiting a long time for this, I'll tell you. The best rain I had last year, I think, was 3/4 of an inch at one time, and that was the only one. And the rest of them were 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch stuff, and it just didn't do squat. All right, see you Sunday night, KW6S, K6MYC, and moving into the Bay Area. KB6BA, give me a little more chatter, Oliver, and I'll peek on you. You're Q5, though. Go ahead.
K6MYC, KB6BA. Enjoying the rain like you are. We're getting a fair amount of accumulation. We'll see what it amounts to. Just a moment, at the moment, relaxing a little bit. No hiking today. And I heard Russ in there as well. K6MYC, KB6BA.
Who did you say you heard?
Russ, K6 Kilo 1.
Okay, I haven't heard Russ yet, but we'll pick him up. Good. Yeah, I got antenna up on you now. The path is a little different tonight than normal, but and you're not anywhere near as strong here as you are on 2 meters, but still good path and fairly steady too. KB6BA 900, Judy's got you. And you probably had rain today, so you didn't do a lot of hiking, did you?
That's correct. That's correct. Just enjoyed the rain, and they're going on as we speak. So hopefully that'll make a dent in our seasonal shortfall over.
Yeah, boy, oh boy, it made up for a lot today. We went from 5 inches to 8 inches in a big hurry. All in the last 24 hours. We went from 5 inches since May to 8 inches since May, so huge amount of rain in the last 24 hours here. What a blessing. We've been waiting a long time for this one. Thanks, Oliver. Great to hear you, and it was fun to sit in the house for a change and just listen to the downpour.
Yeah, I just looked at the rainfall totals for the state. For San Jose, we're at 81% of normal. Not great, but a lot better than it was. Everything north of me is well above normal. Go ahead.
Yeah, what was well above normal? I clicked the mic just as you said it.
About the Bay Area and California north of me is well above normal for rainfall. But San Jose, near where I am, is still about 81%.
Is that 81% of the total you should get, or is that 81% so you're 20% lower than your normal, huh?
81% of normal to date, so we're still behind.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe you'll catch up. It looks like we might have a rainy spring here, a rainy winter, back half of the winter. It did this in South Africa, too. They had a very, very rainy winter at the second half of the winter. So that may be what's going on here. And of course, it rained like hell all over the country. I mean, I got to talk to a guy the night before. He had a flood watch in Atlanta. I talked to a guy in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and he said it was raining hard there, really, really hard. They'd already had 2 or 3 inches and was expecting 2 or 3 more. So big storms all over the East Coast as well. We finally got ours. Holy cow. Thank you, Oliver. Great to hear you. And let me see who else is in here. I haven't heard Fred yet tonight, which is unusual. Fred usually pounds in here on 432. KB6BA for your final K6MYC.
KD6, that's okay?
Yeah, there's Fred. Yeah, well, good to hear everyone. Fans seem to be holding up with us.
Okay, very good. 7-3, Oliver. I hear you, Fred. You take one. I also hear W6PQL. Give Judy your number and roll on, Fred. Over.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, Mike and Judy. 507. Yeah, we got over 2 inches of rain today in the rain gauge. which is amazing. And that's on top of the 2 inches we got a couple days ago. So my rain gauge is almost full. I've got to dump it out pretty soon. I think we may have gotten 2.5 inches, and they got almost 6 inches in Ben Lomé in Felton today, which is in one day, which is amazing. So it's been raining all day, and it's still raining right now. Not as hard as it was earlier this afternoon, but still, it was an amazing amount of rain we got. And it was raining all last night as well, too. All right, Mike, 7386S, okay.
Well, thank you for that, Fred. Yeah, we got a total of 3 inches. Up till that point, I had 5 1/4 inches, and that was an accumulation from last May. As of this point in time, we've got 8 inches, so we picked up better part of 3 inches today. Over.
That's a lot of rain for your area. 3 inches in one day is a huge amount of rain. It must have been pouring.
It was. It wasn't continuous, but it was pretty close to continuous. There were little tiny breaks, and we could go outside for a few minutes, and just a very light, misty drizzle that would touch you, but not wet you. And then it would start heavy again, and it did that off and on pretty much all day, and all night too, for that matter, I guess. So we had intermittent rain, but it was when it did come down, boy, it let it go. So it was a blessing, and we are happy to see it. Thanks, Fred. 73s, and we'll see you perhaps Sunday if you want to try 2 meters on Sunday night there. Hi. Let's see, KD6SOK over to W6 Papa Queen London, K6MYC, and I'll bring the antenna up for you, Jim.
Okay, well, you're plenty good copy over here, but it wouldn't hurt to point towards San Francisco. I think that's where you get the best signal for me, and I'm pointed directly at you. I'm going to give you my assessment of 432. I don't think it's band conditions that make your signal this good on 432. I think it's your antennas. I've got one of the EME 12s, and it's not very high off the ground, but it's always done real well on 432. Good pattern, lots of gain, and I like it. I've got a second one. I probably ought to stack the 2 of them and do better than I usually do here on this band. But anyway, there you go. We got about, just under 3 inches, 2.75, 2.85, something like that. So we did pretty well over here, too. And we're pretty much on track for the year in Fremont, that is. K6MYC, W6, DQL.
Yeah, that's good. That's what Oliver was reporting. Most of the Bay Area and the north of Bay Area was up to par for your normal amount. We are, I don't know, we're short a lot of rain for normal, but I will have to wait until May, because through the course of a full year, we get a normal rainfall of 11 inches, plus or minus 1 inch, and it's been that way for years that I've been here. One year we had about 15, one year we had 25, but most of the time, like last year, it just barely scraped by with 11. So there you are. Okay, let's see who else we got in here, and I brought your signal up to fairly steady and fairly consistent here today. And I know one thing, you did not pound the pellet around today, did you?
Oh boy, no. It's it's a fair weather sport. When it's rainy or very windy, you just don't play.
Yeah, not a good day for golfing unless you have galoshes or hip boots. All right, let's see if let me see if I can hear Jim in here. WB6JNN. Jim, are you here?
N6RO, early check-in.
Early check-in from N6RO. I'll take it. Go ahead, Ken. Big signal.
Yeah, K6MYC, N6RO, Bozo 835. Temperature range was 49 to 60, and we had 1.5 inches of rain, and dinner was chicken Caesar salad. That's it in a nutshell. I'm off to my normal Thursday night congestion.
Okay, go get them. Well, we had hot dogs par excellence here. The Judy special, when there's a panic and it's 15 after the hour and Matt hasn't shown up yet. We resort to hot dogs. Who could beat it? I like them, but we don't try to eat them every day. if we can avoid it. But they are a good backup. Thanks. Go get your Zoom meeting, and we'll talk to you Sunday night. Ken, have a good one. You got a contest this weekend?
Yeah, the ARRL DXCW. We're going to do several single banders. We don't have a full staff for a multi. And okay, my emergency food is Spam.
Your emergency phone is what?
Spam. S-P-A-M.
Oh, your emergency food is Spam. I got you now. Yeah, okay. Yeah, dinner for champions. Spam. I guess it's Hawaii is famous for Spam. I guess they lived on Spam all during the World War II. They couldn't get anything else out there but Spam. So they have all kinds of funny menus out there in Hawaii with Spam in the menu.
Yeah, I have it for breakfast quite often with an egg.
Well, it's a good idea. You know, I've kind of forgotten about it, but it is a good little thing that in lieu of bacon or something else. It's nice. Give you. We probably have a couple of Spams on the shelf in there. Maybe we ought to open one of those for breakfast this weekend. Thanks, Ken. Have a good one, and we'll enjoy the. You will enjoy the contest, I'm sure. Try to get some sleep, however. You'll probably do an 80 meters, and I don't know what 80's doing. The A index is still pretty high. I don't know what it is now, but a couple of days ago it was 20 plus, so that doesn't bode well for 80. N6RO, okay, 6MYC for your final.
Yeah, well, we'll take it whatever it is. The band has been pretty good this week in the two sprints that the other guys operated. And, by the way, I worked on the International Space Station repeater this morning. I worked in New Jersey, which I understand is a pretty long path for that satellite.
That's about right. Just depending on which way it's coming, it's just going down for you and just coming up for them.
Yeah, that's where it was. I was on the past center, pointed all the beams. I had kilowatts going up, and I could hear pretty well on the low antenna. So that's it. See you on Sunday, N6RO.
And I'm sorry I forgot it. Aaron had me all set up here. I noticed when I came in the shack, I think the radio was set up for it, and I totally spaced it today. I could have come in here. I wasn't doing anything else, sleeping intermittently between news broadcasts and sleeping in the chair and keeping the fire going, so I easily could have come in. I just didn't remember. I'm just not thinking ham radio in the middle of the day for some reason anymore. Take care. Thanks for that quick update. And the notice that you did get a signal through the satellite. That's good news. N6RO, okay, 6MYC, 73 Ken.
73 Mike.
6KLY.
Okay, 6KLY. Good evening, Russ.
For the Texas.
Yeah, howdy, just checking in. I think there's one or two other guys up here in the Bay Area. So put me down there, number 111, K6KLY.
Yeah, we got you down, Russ. Good to hear you on 432 here. Thank you very much for coming in. Gee, 2 times in 1 week, I'm falling over here. But great signal, of course, no problem copying. We got your 111, and if you're, you must have got some serious rain up there, 1 or 2 inches, huh?
Yes, around 2 inches, because I'm right by the slot in the hills where it comes in from Half Moon Bay, over.
Yeah. Must have been a lot of water up there because all across from Santa Cruz up your way and all across, Jim PQL said he got almost 3 inches. We got 3 inches or plus or minus a tenth or so. And so widespread, lots of water up there. That's good. Over.
Yeah, roger. All right, take care. K6KLY.
Okay, 73 Russ, thanks for popping in. K6KLY, K6MYC, looking for others in the Bay Area.
Well, here is WB6WNI 1090.
Oh, this is Kilowatt 6, Whiskey India Sierra.
Okay, got 2 of you. K6WIS, good evening, Paul, 637. And let me get you written down here because Judy stepped out for a second. 637. 111, And I heard 1090 in there also. Good evening, Gary. Hang on a second. We'll get right to you. Let me get Paul picked up here since he's further distance there. Any check-ins beside yourself, Paul? If not, no problem, but good to hear you. Good, strong signal. It's not bodacious, but very clear. Much better than the other night. K6 Whiskey India Sugar, K6 MYC.
Yeah, thanks for getting back to me, Mike. K6 MYC in the group. This is K6 WIS. You're on a propagation high on the bounce pass right now. You're 5 by 5. So I thought it's a good, lucky to get chickens. No other chickens, but we've had about 2.6 inches today. The most rain today for any day this year. This is the most rain we've had. Back to you, Mike. Over.
Yeah, same here. We've gotten drips and drabs for the last year and a half, nothing over 3/4 of an inch. And today we get 3 inches, so a monster change for us. And now we've got for the year since May about 8 inches total since May of last year. So we're coming up real fast. Thanks for that, Paul. No other check-ins, but hang in there and we'll look for you on the direct path here in a minute or two. Let me pick up Gary, WB6WNI, K6MYC. Go ahead, Gary.
Thank you, Mike. Sorry, just got my mouth full. Yeah, K6MYC from WB6WNI. The signal's not QSB tonight, but you peaked right up there again. It was blasting it earlier, then it went down and back. Anyway, I will chime in and say, yes, we got close to 3 inches here today as well. So it was a very wet day and basically stayed inside. But Mike, I want you to know that WB6JNN is also here on the side, so you might want to give them a call. However, I don't have much else today, so I'll let you move on. But always nice to see you, Mike. Anyway, K6MYC to WB6WNI.
Okay, very good, Gary. Thanks for the report on the rain, and appreciate it. 73's to you. And we'll pick up Jim here. Here's the ones that checked in since you left, right here. Judy just walked in, so I'm giving her the list that I got here. All right. Take care, Gary. Quite good copy. Not bodacious, but certainly Q5 all the way, so thanks much for being there. Now let's see if I can squeeze Jim in here. Jim's been funny on 432. Some nights he blows me out of the shack. Other nights I can hardly hear him. WB6JNN. Go ahead. K6MYC. Well, maybe he went back in the house, Gary. I don't hear him.
Mike, you are right. I don't hear him, and he was doing about S9, so I could not miss him. Yeah, he might try again later, but he was loud and clear. Oh, well.
It's all right. We got him. He may have had to go feed a cat or something, or tend to the wife. He's doing a little bit more tending to the wife these days. That she's got some little small issues there. So that's okay, but we got him checked in. So if he does pop back in, if you're listening here and I don't hear him, just tell him he's checked in. We got him. Thank you for that, and we'll listen for KT2G, but he may not be in here till later either, but Mark will probably be here. I think he said he would be here, but he'll be missing this weekend. KT2G, are you here, Mark? K6MYC. Okay, nothing heard from Mark. How about WA6AXX, Ed? AB6SR, Alpha Bravo 6 Sugar Radio, weak but possible copy. AB6SR, Stan, are you here? Okay, I'm not hearing anybody else. How about Gilroy, WA6JKN? Gilroy, are you here? Nothing in Gilroy either. Missing somebody. KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie. KB6 WFC. How about you, Mike? Let me go way north for Mike up at Daly City. KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie. K6MYC. Mike? Nothing heard from Mike. How about KE6? Oh, for heaven's sakes. What's Gary's call? 177. Where are you, Gary?
Is that KE6QR?
KE6QR. Well, I brought up the KE6, and the next thing that popped in was ILX, and then I couldn't get rid of it. We haven't heard Jeff for ages. I don't know why he popped in there, but he came over the top of it in my memory bank here. KE6QR. Where are you, Gary? Okay, missing quite a few in the Bay Area, but we'll have to just live with it. Maybe we can come back later. Let me go to Sacramento here. Okay, let's see if we can copy anything from Darren, KJ6KFB, KJ6KFB, K6MYC in the Bozo group, over. Maybe he'll show up after we get Bill in here, but Bill's not going to come in. Bill's got a broken radio, so I'm going to have to go all the way up to KR6MR. Let's go up this way a little bit. KR6MR, that should be a little closer to you, John. KR6MR, Meadow Vista, K6MYC. I wonder if he said he wasn't going to be here tonight. WB6ISO, go ahead, Dennis.
Down on the up there quite a bit, but as you move the other direction, you dropped off. But anyway, I just want to check in, Bozo 86.
I got your 86. Do you have anybody else there, Dennis?
Nobody else here. Just fighting on the rotor controller and trying to get that thing straightened out because it's jumping all over. So anyway, that does a good evening to you. No other check-ins.
Okay. I moved the antenna back your way a little bit, but you're still got a lot of funny fluttering up and down, fading, very strange. I think that's your array in my system here, and between the two of us, we never get what we'd call a direct path. It's very infrequent. We don't hear very funny fluttering QSB on you, and it's no different tonight. Hi. Anyway, thanks for checking in. Hang on a second. Let's see if I can hear in this direction. Let me go up this way a little bit. K6 Whiskey India Sugar. Are you copying me on the direct path, Paul? Over.
K6MYC. This is Kilo 6 Whiskey India Sierra. How copy? Over.
Yeah, we got you now. I had to peek on you a little bit. I think I'm pretty close here. Not bodacious. About the same signal strength we had on the bounce path. Over.
Okay, Mike. Your signal is weaker for me. The only thing is maybe a 4x2 with some for me, Mike. But I'll just good to check that direct path is working, but not as good as bounce path for me. Back to you, K6WIS.
Yeah, same flutter on you that we've got on Dennis there. It's fluttering. You got very quick multipath flutter, and then we have another fade that's up and down every second or so. So it really makes it a little difficult to copy, but we got you all okay. Thanks much, and I think I found a better peak on you here. 7-3, Paul, thanks for checking in, and we'll see you Sunday night. I assume you're on schedule for next week and be home most of the time. K6 Whiskey India Sugar in the group, K6MYC.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, your signal increased up to S5. 5x5, but like you said, with very sharp QSB flutter. So I won't hold it. Thanks for the contact. K6 Whiskey India Sugar Clear.
Yeah, boy, it's got Doppler on it too. It got the double signal there a little bit at times. It was so bad. So we got multipath and Doppler. So maybe an aircraft going over on top of everything else. So a little frequency shift there. All right, 7-3, Paul. Catch you later. And I think, did you hear Dennis there? Dennis, was that you?
Yeah, I was just saying I was just calling real quick. How was that?
Hi there, Dennis. WB6ISR, K6 Whiskey India Sugar, 59 plus a little bit, and I'm not even pointing in your direction. So good propagation between us there, over.
You bet you. 59 plus. They send BBC, we'll catch you next week. WB6. 7-3, then take care.
7-3, Dennis.
35-6, good evening.
All right, very good, guys. I don't hear John in here. That's surprising. John, KR6MR. Are you here with us tonight, John?
Yeah, K6MYC in the group. KR6MR, Bozo 759. I'll be pretty late tonight. My antennas are still nested, so I'm kind of hiding down in the trees. Over.
Yeah, pretty rainy all day here. We had 3 inches. We're trying to catch up with you there, big guy. You and your 3-inch days. But we had a 3-inch day here also. So good to hear you. Not real strong and the same flutter, funny QSB and multipath on you as we're hearing on the other fellows. 759 KR6MR. Go ahead.
Okay. You won in the rainstorm. I only have 2.21. Repeat, 2.21 inches on this storm so far.
Yeah, 2.2 inches. Well, we're at 3, and we got it all within the last 24 hours, I think, over.
Well, good. Save all you can.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm cheering, actually. We're sitting here with big smiles on our face, listening to all kinds of different rain coming really hard and really soft, and it was so strong at one point it took out the satellite TV signals for a while, over. But it's very, very jerky and fading badly. Anyway, we'll say 73, and we'll look for you on Sunday. Look for you Sunday night, John. KR6MR, Meadow Vista, K6MYC in the Bozo Net. 7-3. And the path is going all over the place here. 7-3. Okay, anybody else in the Sacramento area? Sacramento and points in between and beyond. K6MYC Bozo Net. Okay, I'm going to try for Nevada, but I don't know if we're going to have anybody. I know Richard's not going to be there. But let's go to Nevada and make some yells anyway. Let's see what happens here. Nevada. How about you, Larry? N7 Whiskey Tango, N7WT. N7 Whiskey Tango, N7WT, K6MYC, calling and listening. KE7UQL. I don't think you have your 432 antennas up, but we'll call anyway. Well, maybe you do. Maybe you have 2 and 432 up. I don't know. KE7UQL. KE7UQL. K6MYC. How about it, Daniel? One rare call for Fallon, Nevada. K7SUN, K7 Sierra Uniform November, Fallon, Nevada. K6MYC, calling and listening. Stan. Okay, one last call for Den7 Whiskey Tango. N7WT, N7 Whiskey Tango, K6MYC, and the group calling and listening. Anybody in this direction, anybody hearing me from any location, K6MYC Bozo Net.
Yeah, I'm hearing you, Mike, KM6SR.
Well, thanks for the report, Rob. Gee.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure you knew you were getting out.
I'm getting out. Okay, I'm going to bring it back to the Bay Area here and see if we can squeeze anybody else out of the Bay Area. We could possibly get one more there. There's 2-something. There's 2-something. 280-something. That should be sort of in the middle. Bay Area, K6MYC, late calls, late checks, or missed. Bozo Net, late checks or missed. K6MYC, Central California, calling the Bay Area on 432. K6MYC, standing by. I do believe we're done for the night, Rob.
Okay, yeah, there's nobody to go south for, huh?
Now, I hear Paul in there again. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, I need to relay a station. I want to relay KJ6KSB, Darren. He was on frequency when you appointed into Sacramento. Over.
Okay, I'll put down 756. I'm sorry we missed him. I did not hear Darren tonight, but maybe I didn't have the antenna right on him. I have to be right on him to hear his 20 watts there. KJ6KFB. Thank you for that, Paul. Thank you for the relay. K6WIS, K6MYC. 73 again, Paul.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, there were a lot of stations overriding over the top of him, which his signal wasn't getting through, so it was a traffic problem. 73, K6WIS clear.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul. Thank you. Sorry we missed him. Rob, we got more rain coming according to Judy's weather report here. It's going to start raining in about 10 minutes for another 12 hours. What do you think?
Well, I try not to, but I know I'm good at it. Sounds good to me.
Okay. Well, let's see. What time do you want us to be ready for your limousine to come by and pick us up?
Boy, you haven't seen it lately, huh? Let's see. I need to get there kind of early because they got some preparation to do, some setup. So it'd be nice if we could be there no later than 6, maybe a little earlier getting there. So maybe I get to your place between 4:30 and 5. How's that?
Okay, say 5 or so.
Yeah, 5 or a little before.
Okay, well, we'll be ready.
Okay, sounds good. Wonder why Frank's not even getting on the radio at all.
That's another story right now. I don't know either. He hasn't called me on the phone either, but he has had some issues here. And I won't go into it over the air here, but he did have has time, I guess, to get the beacons back on. We checked last night, and Ken said the beacon, I guess you said the beacons were on 2, and Ken said it was on 432. Whether 1296 is on or not, I don't know. I didn't even listen for 1296, but at least he's got that functional. That means he's sort of running. I think he's and I'll go into this another time, maybe tomorrow night on the way in. I'll give you an update.
Yeah, you told me about that. I was just wondering, didn't he hurt his leg or something too? Has that gotten better?
Well, again, I don't know. I haven't talked to him since the day after he hurt his leg, and he was back on his feet after that because he said he was going to work at his neighbor's place. They had a washout. He did quite a bit of dirt moving and cleaning of brush and stuff, and then they had the rainfall. But where we got a quarter of an inch here, he got 2 inches up there. So they had some washouts, and he had to help the neighbor with the erosion and stuff. And that was the last time I talked to him. But he had obviously gotten good enough to be able to get back on the tractor. Up till that time, he was hurting so bad he could not make the tractor work because of a lot of leg work with the pedals and stuff. But he told me, because I said, are you going to bring the tractor down on Saturday? And he said, Saturday probably, but not earlier because his leg was still hurting. But then he didn't show up Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with no calls. So that's, we'll just have to be patient. But because the beacons are on the air, I think he's home and doing things. Over.
Yeah, that sounds good, I guess. Okay. Let's see. I've got a count to 24 tonight. What's Judy got?
She's got 24. Amazing.
Boy, you'd think we're both professionals at this. We've been spot on here the last few times.
Yeah, you're going to have to get a gold medal if you get 5 in a row.
Yeah, sounds good to me. What do you think, Judy?
Easy.
Easy peasy, she says.
Yeah, I heard that. Okay. Well, we'll let you guys go. Get anywhere warm by the fire there. K6MYC and Judy, KM6SR 73.
Thank you, Rob. How's Candy doing? Is she pretty much over her little sojourn in the hospital?
Well, it's a long process here, so I've been playing Mr. Mom here, and got to help her doing everything, doing the cooking and fetching stuff and doing all that. Over.
Okay. Well, hang in there. I take it she's not going to come with us tomorrow night to the club meeting.
No, she's not. I asked her about it, and she said no. That's way too much wishful thinking. So this is going to be a long time to recover, and she seems to be doing good. Pain's kind of gone away, so she's just taking recovery.
Okay. Very good. Wish her the best, and we'll see you tomorrow about 5 or a little bit before. We'll try to be ready before 5, but that'll be a good time for us. Okay. See you tomorrow, Rob. And over to you, Aaron, if you're still here. Good evening to you. K6USY in the group, K6MYC.
Good night, Mike. Good night, Rob. Charlie Echo Fox.
Hang on, Darren. Thank you, 7-3. There's somebody else way down in there. Do you hear Aaron?
Yeah, it sounded like Dane.
Like who?
Dane. J&P up there in Coarsegold.
Oh, I don't think so. I could try. Let me see. Let me turn the antenna more toward 300 degrees. If that was you, Dane, whoever it was in Coarsegold, give us some more audio, K6MYC.
Good night, Daryl. G6CF, KM6SR.
Who was the other station that called in? K6MYC, Bozo Net, over.
WB6JNC, Coarsegold.
Daryl called in to say goodnight to us, Mike. That's all I heard.
No, I'm hearing Dane in here. Dane is in here. Dane, stand by. There's still somebody else underneath you. So stand by, Dane. 107, we have you. Who was the other one? Once again, I'm sorry. All of a sudden, we got a cluster of people here. Try it again, please. Call again, K6MYC.
756, Kilo Juliet 6, Kilo Foxtrot Bravo.
We got your 756, Darren, but good to hear you. You got checked in by Paul, and now we're hearing you. We are hearing you now, Paul, Darren. Thank you very much for calling in. Sorry we missed you on the first pass. Over.
Yeah, got a little busy there. I jumped in right after Dennis, and I got stepped all over. Oh, well, it happened. Have a good one there, Mike, and have a great day. 66 TFP.
Okay, thanks, much, Darren. And we got you. We had you checked in anyway, but it's nice to hear your voice. Almost Q5. It's right on the hairy edge tonight. 7-3. KJ6 KFB West Sacramento. K6 MYC. Okay, Dane, over to you. 107. That gives us 25, I guess. With Dane checking in. WB6JNN, go ahead. K6MYC.
JMP, Mike.
What did I say? WB6JNP, K6MYC.
Okay, Mike. K6MYC. WB6JNP. And yeah, you rotated or moved just a little off me. Anyway, nothing new to report at this end. Rainfall over the last 24 hours up here was 3 inches.
Yeah, we got 3 inches here as well today. And the last inch fell around 5 o'clock today, over.
Yeah. Looking back on it, I showed 5:30 was the last time I recorded rainfall.
Yeah, that would be about right. It rained real hard, enough to knock out the satellite TV. There was so much attenuation at 12 gigs, we had no pictures here for about 15 minutes, and we were learning how to get the satellite back to function, and we finally got pictures back, but the satellite receiver said, hey, the signals have disappeared. We don't know, and we recommend that you want to go to a streaming website. Here it is, and they send us over to there, but we didn't check in. I don't need to see it that bad that we couldn't wait 10 minutes. If it had been 9/11 or Twin Towers or something, we might have tried to do it, but I don't think we could have gotten up to the computer and got it all on and gotten the live stream by the time it was over anyway. So anyway. Yeah, it rained pretty hard here. The last downpour around 4 or 5 o'clock was horrendous.
Yeah, I'm showing a spike right about 4:45. Was the last big spike that I had. Yeah, the thing about satellites, for years, the cable TV companies, we were all on C-band. And there, about the only thing we were worried about was sun outage. But when they went to KU, when DirecTV went to KU, they didn't think a lot about, I guess, rain outage at that time. And the first time it happened, it was like the industry was in panic mode. And so we did some quick calculations, and what we come up with, instead of an 18-inch dish, if you wanted to have a dish big enough to not be affected by the loss of rain attenuation at 12 gigs, you ended up at 64 meters, and we thought that was a little unpractical.
A 64-meter dish?
Yeah, well, it's a practical dish, but not for the home market.
64 meters? That's not practical for anybody.
Well, 210 foot, it worked for NASA.
Oh, yeah, no, it works for NASA. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, that's not practical for anybody, though. There's only about 6 of those in the world.
And then, we had to look at it, and we looked at it that way, and then fast forward, I don't know, 15, 20 years. I'm working for a company, and we're using KU satellite uplink to our aircraft, or up and downlink, and, sun outages we knew about. I was working in Hawaii, and one day I see this huge cloud come up over a mountain, and I thought, we're going to lose the KU link. And sure enough, so, it was like other industries just didn't do their homework and learn about propagation, I guess.
Well, I think it was a number of factors there. The amount of lost downtime to those really, really dense rain clouds and heavy water up there is pretty minimal. I mean, I could count on one hand the number of times that I've lost satellite pictures here. Of course, I'm not in that real dense rainforest where you get 5 inches in an hour. That kind of water up there is going to attenuate you. But I think they looked at it. I think they knew it. We knew it at the time when they were talking about going to 12 gigahertz that there was a water problem. And they talked about going to the water hole frequency, which is down below. But I don't know. I think 12 is one of the worst frequencies. I don't think it gets worse as you go up, as I recall. But you would know, and I wouldn't, because I'm not very good above. I'm not good above 2 gigahertz, but I'm good to 4. But I know it wasn't much of a problem on that band, on those bands, on the C-band stuff. But KU and then up, is it worse up, or is it just about the worst you could be at 12? Over.
Yeah, it's right around 12, 13 that it gets really bad, and then it tapers off. I did a design that I gave over to Joe Cadwallader. We were looking to build a short-link, high-security radio, and I put it up on, I think it was 94 and 121 gigs. And Joe looked at me and he goes, but those are, those get a lot of oxygen absorption. And I go, absolutely, we can design to work right at threshold. But beyond that, which is a few miles past, I go, you'll never hear it.
Yeah, so it is pretty secure. But as long as you can design to take care of the worst case path loss.
Well, you have to remember that Hughes not only built radios like that, but we did a lot of research in gallium arsenide, and a lot of the LNAs and stuff like that were built in our foundry, which was right next door. So if we needed something, it wasn't that we had to find it off the shelf. We just built it.
Yeah, that was nice. Okay. Yeah, my recollection was correct then. I thought 12 gigahertz or 12 to 13, like you say, was probably the worst water absorption of all of them until you get to solid trying to get through ocean water or something. Anyway, yeah, well, we had that little lockout today. It was for about 15 minutes where we had no signals. So it was pretty dense. I've seen that maybe 4 or 5 times here at this house over 25 years, so you really can't complain. I've never had anything at this house other than 12 gigs, so I guess we've had the KU band stuff for that many years. I think even at the other house in Friant, even in the 90s, I think I had KU band down there. We've always had satellite TV, but for many years, of course, we had 4 gigahertz, 3.4 to 4.2, and I still have dishes for that, and feeds and everything else. It's a very good band. It's just a little bigger dish than most people can get in their backyard. Anyway, thanks for the check-in. I haven't heard Dan for quite some time. I guess he's recovered, but he hasn't been checking in here. I guess it just isn't in his thought pattern. Were you here when we were talking about Frank?
Yeah, I caught just the end of it. And I was going to say, when you were talking about 4 gig, we actually installed a 6-meter Cassegrain feed 4 gig system at a guy's house in Beverly Hills. And it was really interesting because one of the questions was, will it be affected, or what's going to happen if we hit the feed with tennis balls? So I'm not a good tennis player, so I'm out there and, missing on a regular basis, and we were doing carrier to noise measurements. And finally, one of the guys who was in charge of the video department said, well, I can get a few of the girls out here. And all of a sudden, we had bikini-clad Playboy bunnies. It was at the Playboy Mansion. And they were all aiming at the center, or at the feed horn, and hitting them with tennis balls. And, that was one of those assignments that every time I got a call from, the guy's name was Barney Fox, every time I got a call from Barney that they needed to check something out or have somebody come up, I literally had a bidding war from the guys that worked for me to go there.
Well, I bet you when you were up there, you weren't watching bouncing tennis balls, were you?
Oh, it was a riot. You know, it was really funny because there was a battle between Barney in the video department and security, and they, you know, didn't want us up there, and Barney said no, and of course we had to deal with the owner of the mansion, which I honestly never met, but we'd go up there, and Barney would insist that we always came up at 11 o'clock because that's when they had lunch, and they would always the mansion would always cater lunch for all the workers if there wasn't a party going on. So we had some of the best food, and it was just really a riot. And of course, everyone sort of liked Barney. So we always had some interesting, shall we say, lunch companions.
No kidding. That wasn't Hugh Hefner's place, was it?
One and the same.
Oh, it was his?
Yeah, it was the Playboy Mansion, and they decided they wanted satellite TV when it had just got started. So they contracted to Hughes, and we did a 6-meter diameter dish for them, and we did a whole lot of modifications so it didn't have the big square base under it. And it ended up on a, it looked like a cylinder, and the cylinder was all brick, and we used to call it the bunker, and we'd always, you know, go, oh, let's go have lunch in the bunker, because it was big enough, and that's where we kept equipment at. So it was really a fun project.
Yeah, I'll bet it was. I built some of the first we built 5-meter dishes first, and I remember taking one to Florida one time. We were so crude that we had, I actually took a window screen, and this guy in Florida was quite wealthy, I guess, and he had a place right downtown in whatever city we were in. I think it was Miami. We were on a side street in Miami, and he had this dish right out in the front yard on the sidewalk. And I'm out there. We attached a mesh with hot glue. This was a real first one, but he wanted it, by God, and I said, well, we're really not ready. This isn't the way we're going to do it in the long term. He said, no, get anything you can do to get me signal. I got to have signal. So I went down there with a hot glue gun and made the 5-meter dish, all with sections of window screen and hot glue over.
Okay. Yeah, that works. Well, you know, you and I had sort of touched on it the other day. Like one of the best antennas for cross-pole isolation was the grid antenna, because
I hear you, Marcus. Stand by.
Where the grid matched the signal. So if you were vertical, the grids were vertical, and there was nothing horizontal. Well, over the years, we started, you know, seeing that, and people would try to do it up at 4 gigs, and not so lucky in that. But we used mainly Andrew 4.5 meter and Harris 6 meters, and then we also did some Andrew 10 meter, and then Hughes went to build their own antenna, and they used fiberglass as the framing, and they used a flame spray in it. And I remember I had such an issue with Prodlin antennas up at 13 gigs that somebody asked me how I felt about fiberglass dishes. And I said, about the same way I feel about boats. I go, if God meant us to sail fiberglass boats, he would have made fiberglass trees. Boy, did I catch a ration of you-know-what from Hughes for that one.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know, at 12 or 14 gigs, you got to have a pretty goddamn good service. I'll tell you what. You can use quite a bit of tolerance in the mesh position and floppiness and all that stuff down at 3 and 4 gigs. But boy, it can't tolerate that stuff at 10 gigs. The mesh has to be pretty solid and pretty much on within an eighth of an inch of where it should be, or you've got all kinds of problems. Worst case, of course, and as the LNAs got better and better, if the dish had a lot of lumps and side lobes and stuff, then you just couldn't take advantage of that 30-degree Kelvin LNA, could you?
No, there's all sorts of issues. We were doing a trade show one day down in Texas, and one of the big problems with fiberglass, any fiberglass dish, is how it tolerates heat, but you get more distortion in it. But anyway, we're at this trade show in Texas, and Harris had just decided that they were going to build their own satellite receivers. And so they had their satellite receivers that they were showing, and of course they were using a Harris 6-meter dish. And pictures really looked bad. They just could not get it. And so my construction supervisor and we knew most of the guys at Harris, and we'd only installed 100 of their dishes. So, we're there, and Bob looks at me, and he goes, you know what the issue is, don't you? And I go, yeah, the issue is they're on a side lobe. And it was a Cassegrain, and they've got that really odd pattern to them. And so Bob and I talked to their guy, and he said, oh yeah, if you guys think you can straighten it out, well, the construction people were different than the installation people, who were different than the engineers. So Bob and I started doing an alignment, and we swung the dish in azimuth, and all of a sudden the pictures disappeared. And I've got this one design engineer for the receivers, and he said, no, you're going through it, stop. Well, Bob and I are sort of deaf to other people when we're doing this, so Bob took it off to one side, and we lost signal, and I go, okay, and all we're looking at is a video monitor. So I go, okay, bring it back the other way, and he brings it back, and he comes through this noisy picture, and the guy's screaming, stop, and I go, keep going, Bob. He goes into nothing, then all of a sudden the picture gets noisy again. And I go, okay, that's it, Bob. Bring it back the other way. And I stopped him in the null. And then the question was up or down, and I go, give it a chance. And he turned the big jack screw for elevation, something like a quarter of a turn, and all of a sudden pictures were like studio quality. And the one design engineer asked me, he goes, what did you do? And I explained it. He goes, how did you know about that? And I go, first of all, we've installed hundreds of these, and second of all, I just ran all the raw numbers on the Hughes system. So anyway, part of my old pastime.
Yeah, it's a wonder. Yeah, you had a huge signal there if you were even receiving the side lobes, but I guess you would with a Cassegrain. I didn't play with any Cassegrains. We always fed with direct feeds, and I don't remember seeing any evidence of a picture. But of course, you weren't looking for pictures, and we knew where to point anyway. As soon as you set one of these things up in California, you know where to point. If you're moving all over the country, it's different. But if you're staying at one latitude and around in California, as we were in the San Francisco Bay Area, it's pretty stable. You set the dish up, you can set it up blind, put it to these numbers, and put it on this pedestal, and make sure the pedestal is up straight and not leaning in one direction or the other, and you got pretty good pictures, and just a small tweak one way or the other, and you got it. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, but the 5 meters and the 6 meter dishes, of course, are pretty touchy. But boy, when you get the signal, it's good. But anyway, it was funny when I was down in Florida doing the hot glue thing. Right in the middle of putting the mesh on with the hot glue, we had one of those Florida rains for about 20 minutes, and of course all the aluminum got wet. And then of course the hot glue doesn't stick with a dam on wet aluminum, so I had a horrible time for about 2 hours there because the mesh kept coming loose. but I finally made it all work. But this was so funny because I'm on the sidewalk. People are walking by, and I'm out there, hands and knees, before we lifted the dish up into position. And hands and knees with a hot glue gun out there and a big power cord to get to the hot glue gun. And I got big sections of mesh, and we're putting them on and then trimming them afterwards. What a mess. You can imagine how crude that was. But it worked. Anyway, listen, let's get out of here. I'm going to go in the other room and wrap it up, but always good to talk about those old days. The good old days, Dane, over.
Yeah, I agree with you. And by the way, a trick I've used with the M-squared antennas when I'm first setting the elements in, instead of using the little spring clips, I use tie wraps.
Yeah, they work for a few years.
Yeah, well, the idea is not to make them permanent, but at least you can get everything lined up, and then you know exactly where to go. And by the way, tie wraps work good on your mesh to hold it in place until you get the hot glue on it.
Oh, yeah, we did that, too. Yeah, I had quite a few tie wraps in the middle of all this thing. As I recall, we had, you put it in the position generally with tie wraps, and then you hot glued it. The only problem I had was when it rained, and then the hot glue didn't stick. Anyway, boy, oh boy, good old days. And I loved your Hugh Hefner story. Yeah, that's something else. Yeah, that would be tough duty. I wouldn't have been very happy with that duty up there either, like nobody else was. All right, let's see. Rob, are you still here?
Roger, roger. Marcus had to go, but I got him checked in there, over.
Okay, give me his number. I think he's 1089 or something.
1091.
1091. I missed it.
Yep, not by much.
KG6QNY. I'm still back here.
Okay, good evening, Marcus. I don't know if you probably couldn't hear Dane. Dane's up in Corscold with a whole loop, I think, up on this bend. Too bad you couldn't hear the other side of that. Dane used to work for Hughes Aircraft, and we were there in the early days with 4 gigahertz and 3.4 to 4.2 gigahertz, the bigger dishes that we put in the backyards for satellite TV, and we did hundreds and hundreds of those. We made dishes and we made satellite receivers at my company, KLM Electronics. But Dane was working in the more professional world of Hughes Aircraft, and they were doing it for the government and other facilities. But we were just sharing stories of some of the weird things that went on in those days. KG6QNY, K6MYC.
Yeah, Mike, I was hearing that. It reminded me. I'd heard about that. And I don't know if Ken had also worked with you folks, but I'd heard about that before, and I was quite impressed. It'd be good to get together. The other thing is I'm hoping to see you and Judy over at our Friday meeting. We're going to have some special things there, this meeting.
Yeah, no, we're looking forward to that. And barring some very odd weather event where I got a warning tonight from Madera on the phone, 800 number, and it was a warning from Madera County that there was a severe lightning and thunderstorm going on. And they just wanted to warn everybody. So I get those every now and then. But if it was anywhere near me, we might elect to just stay in the house, not get in the car and go in. Although you're pretty safe in the car because the car isn't grounded. The lightning doesn't want to hit a car because you're actually floating on 4 insulation wheels. So you're pretty safe in the car, but still it worries people who don't understand all this stuff, over.
That's true, Mike. And I did hear where we live at in Clovis, and we heard a rumble. It sounded off from that end, so they must have really gotten it good. I only heard it one time, and other than that, nothing around here.
So it's been a couple of years since I've had thunder here. We haven't had enough rainstorms for about 2 years to get thunder. When I first moved here, it was different. in around 2001. I can remember the first year I was here, the first winter. I was here in 2001, and I was just putting up antennas up on a hill, and I could go up on this hill right behind the house here, and the sheet lightning. The lightning was in the clouds. It was going back and forth in the clouds, but lit the clouds up, and it was so bright you could read a newspaper from up there in the middle of the night. Over.
Yeah, copy that. Wow, never did see that. I know they have it bad back east. Sounds like, they tell me, sounds like your house is coming apart. But never had seen that. But, you know, the weather's now changed. I've heard you say, you know, we're lucky if we get a spit once in a while. KG6QY, back to you, Mike.
Yeah, okay. Very good. Anyway, good. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow night, Marcus. And Rob's still here. I think Aaron is probably struggling to waiting for us to shut down so we can turn off the live stream there. There might be a few people looking at the live stream wondering, what the hell are you guys talking about? 12 gigahertz dishes and water loss, water attenuation through space and all that stuff. That goes back a while. Over to you, Garen, if you're still here. K6USY in the group, K6MYC.
Yep, I'm still here, and you got about 10 people still watching. I'm sure it was an interesting conversation for some people. And Marcus, you're sounding good on 432 over here.
Well, thank you, Aaron. That's because we're working off of that Hulu up there that you have, those two. So we appreciate that work. And Rob getting that up. We'll have a 2-meter beam up there, or a Yagi, 2-meter Yagi shortly. And we'll be doing some distant work on 2 meters. And then we'll have our amplifier set up there. All right, fellas, I'm going to catch out of here. Mike and Judy, we'll see you guys at the meeting. And we got some special things for you. This is KG6QNY to Aaron and Rob and Mike and Judy and everybody else. 73.
73, Marcus. Thank you. Hey, Aaron, hang on after you do the net there. I got a couple things for you.
Roger, Roger. K6USY.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm done. I'll listen out, but I'll shut the amp off.
All righty. Good night, Mike. Good night, Judy.